Jungle Sona.
That'll be Rise, surely. That's when you roll your face across the keyboard.
Udyr. There's a couple options
There's
out
a
there.
couple of options out there.
Any AD carry because the buttons
roll
don't matter.
roll your head around that keyboard and see which one you see what happens to land, see what happens to work out for them. But Champion Select will be coming up in just a few moments. What are we thinking that bans possibly come out? Draven has been so strong this week. 2-0 today. Didn't get picked in the third game, which is a little disappointing, but nevertheless, Tristana was incredibly strong for Zuna. Do we think PewDiePie is going to go back towards that, or is he going to stick with Caitlyn like he has this weekend?
Well, he's been grabbing Caitlyn, I think, because Draven's been banned every time. I could be wrong on that.
I think he's available once.
Available once, that's fair. So they've been playing a different style this week, actually, Dignitas, where PewDiePie's been kind of left alone on Caitlyn. And he's done a very good job, in being a lane bully, and as well as surviving in teamfights. He's had very, very few deaths, had a great performance overall. And the rest of his team tends to go all in. You've had Diana twice from Skara, and they just go for fights. Patoy was on Elise, etc. Kiwi Kid was on Elise before. So they've been assassinating, again, Elise, Diana, and then PewDiePie is just safe on his own end on the backside. And I don't see why they changed that strategy. It's worked so far.
Well, we are in towards Champion Select, and amazingly, straight away, will we see a ban come out? What are we thinking? Straight away, Kha'Zix.
Kha'Zix, it makes a lot of sense.
No fun for me today.
Not allowed, sorry. The Diana ban coming through, I'd expect Kale as well. The Kha'Zix and Zed bans, those are identical, I believe, to what we saw just not long ago against compLexity. Again, Nikwu Zed, we saw it was scary against TSM. Kha'Zix, one of Chuper's mainstays right now. These make a whole lot of sense. And actually, they're going to ban Caitlyn, so we'll see if compLexity is forced to ban out Draven.
Yeah, and there is going to be an Elise ban actually taken away from either Kiwi Kid or Patoy.
Sure.
It does, of course, mean that Singed is there if Kiwi Kid wants it.
You're right. There's a lot of really high-profile openings. And the thing about Elise as well is she is the sort of default counterpick to Singed. And Kiwi Kid's been picking Singed like pretty much every time whenever available, unless Elise reared her ugly head and was like, hey, I can counterpick you, bro. Don't go for it. With Elise banned, I mean, they could just steal that away.
Well, they care more about the bear.
They do care about the bear. He's going to give them hugs, and not a very good kind. It's going to hurt for compLexity. Crumbs has had very, very good gank sense and counter gank sense. I remember calling one of those fights in one of the post games, actually, where Crumbs was just waiting for CLG to start a fight, was in the brush, and turned everything around. He's a scary guy. So
is this a case of they left Singed because they purely know that compLexity aren't going to go for it? They know that Nikwu doesn't play that.
Yeah, they know that Loud Mortis really prioritizes more of the tanky junglers. Cho'Gath, Amumu, and Volibear are really his main three, I think, right now. And, so they're not worried about Jarvan, they're not worried about Xin Zhao. But Volibear being sort of the most favored of those picks, it means that Kiwi Kid's going to grab that first.
Well, let's see what it is going to be for Dignitas. Will they go towards Lulu support, maybe? It is something that has been very popular across. It seems to be like the second fallback. Thresh has definitely seemed to be becoming the main one. And then the Lulu comes in there. It could be an Ezreal Lulu. Could be Draven Lulu.
Yeah, what's interesting as well for Dignitas is Patoy hasn't been grabbing Alistar in a while. And Alistar works really well when you're against an obvious engaged team. When you got a Mumu, you've got Thresh and whatnot. They've got to all pile in out of that one, and you've got like the easiest pulverizes in the world. Dignitas, so they're actually looking at Rumble, despite the fact that, again, they have Singed available, but they actually want that top laner. So we'll see how that pans out.
Well, he went with Rumble last game as well. Seemed to work out very well for him, and there is the Draven login. We are going to have a League of Draven. Varus, of course, is going to get locked in as well to counter that. Has got some good range. Varus has been a champion that really is very, very popular in Europe right now, along with Draven.
He's the control AD carry.
Yes.
It's a little bit more consistent than Ashe is. Ashe has to rely on, well, she has a global ultimate and all that. There's just more damage from Varus. He's got more burst abilities. That Blighted Quiver, of course, helps a lot as well. So it's kind of like 80% Ashe and then like just more damage. So you tend to see him as the go-to control. And we've normally seen them go Varus Rumble. So Rumble was actually a bit of a steal away from compLexity. That I think they would have liked that champion.
Yeah, I think they could have played that in the top lane. As it is, Chupa is potentially going to go with the top laner of choice. It is going to be against the Rumble, and Shen. It is going to be the Shen. Yeah,
Shen is a really big go-to there. When Zed is banned, we normally see Nikwu go to Shen, especially when Rumble's gone as well. No! I take that back. He's going to look for Darius, who he's going to try to dunk on Crumbs' Rumble. They wouldn't send him into a 1v2, so he's going to try to heads up that fight.
So what is going to be the AP champion they go with here? It's going to be double AP lane, we suspect. I'm pretty sure that is going to be Kiwi Kid on Rumble in the top lane. What will it be? Will the Gragas come out?
Yeah, that's the most likely one. Those are his 3 most comfortable mids. Of course, we're talking about Skara here as Diana, Kayle, Gragas. And whenever teams are trying to ban against Dignitas, they've got to pick, like, which of the 3 do you want to get rid of, because they're his most comfortable. They work against almost everything. And Gragas also helps keep Cutie Pie alive, having some kind of counter engage or knockback to make sure that you're okay. They do grab the Alistar, so they've got a just gigantic wall of counter engage and disengage to keep Cutie Pie alive on Draven, which is always his biggest difficulty. Is when they get to you, tend to die, so someone's got to disrupt that.
Do you think if Dignitas top the league, we could maybe persuade OD to get Army Cutie Pie to just dye all his hair ginger and be the Gragas?
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, we could try. You know him better than I do. It's up to you, man. Take him out for drinks one night and see if you can convince him.
And who knows what might happen. There is, like you mentioned, the Alistar that Patoy has run quite a lot so far in this championship. And, well, what will they counter it with? It's going to be that mid laner, or we actually suspect, if we see Skara on Gragas, generally he's in the bottom lane.
Yeah, he tends to. And on blue side, though, they'd actually have to send him top to give him blue buff, unless they go for a steal. So it's a little bit trickier to send him bottom lane here. For compLexity, though, they've got to sort of realize, like, honestly, they kind of need to pick a teamfight team as well. They've already grabbed the Mumu and Varus, something just with damage output. And that's going to be Ryze. I like that actually a lot. They have pretty good AoE overall, but really good single target focus to give the resets to Nick Wu and start cleaning up fights over and over from there. And honestly, it could work really, really well for them. Both, like, Alistar and Volibear will get low on health, pop their, like, durability things, right? You've got the regen on Volibear, you've got the damage reduction there from Patoy, but the true damage execute from Nick Wu will pretty much beat both of those abilities. So I actually like what Draven's going to do in this team comp, and I think compLexity has a really good team fight here.
Well, they have good team fight, but what worries me is that Dignitas are on all of their comfortable champions. Yeah. They are looking very confident for this. And honestly, I don't think there's anything that's been done to take them out of their comfort zone. Not really.
The only thing that's really different here is that Kiwi Kid is not on Singed. I think it would actually... I feel like Singed would actually work just like slightly better here just because you would split up compLexity, who are just about the 5-on-5 team fight with his composition. But again, Dignitas knows better than I do. Rumble, certainly a very strong champion as well. And it's just funny because both these teams are looking at kind of the same thing. Match heads together, 5-on-5, try to break people down, and the AD carriers are going to kind of shoot from the back lines.
Well, you can see on your screen there is Dignitas, and look how laid back Cutie Pie is. Just complete, having a sip of his drink. He's on Draven. He's going to be happy. He's even putting a grin on his face, reading the little riot sign on the cup.
Of course, man. It's good to be here, of course. The studio, lots of fun. The games here, of course, have been great. Thank you, by the way, for casting every game this week. It's got to be a little strenuous, but...
It's not too bad. I've just done the same in Europe as well. That's the only
fair.
Switch side. I've just had to cast full on. It's all D-Man week, I think it is. But it's going to be Joe week all in the European LCS. Of course, that's going to be happening 3 a.m., I believe it is, tonight or tomorrow morning, whichever you'd like to call it as. And it's 11 a.m. Central European time. Looking forward to seeing that, actually. I'm not sure if I'm going to quite be able to stay awake for it. That is happening in Lille. But right now, the final game of the day in the North American LCS is about to get underway. It's Dignitas versus compLexity. Here it is. The blue team is going to be Dignitas, and the red team will be compLexity. As things get underway, and looking like Dignitas want to go on the invade path.
It's interesting because this is the battle of the teams with lowercase first letters for tags. We don't see that very often, but it's happened here. The ward across the wall actually does come down in time. We've seen a lot of things be tricky in this brush. Their ward doesn't spot it, just like we actually saw last game. The wall actually blocks that pink ward from seeing it, so that ghost ward will actually survive the entire 60 seconds there. But anyway, that brush, we've seen actually a lot of first bloods happen there. I don't know if it was actually MIA himself last time, but it was against TSM, and they managed to grab a kill like right there in that brush.
I can tell you the Dignitas tag has gone through a few evolutions. So we started off as Dig, and we didn't like that. So we went D dot. I think that's what we used to be originally. And now it's just gone D without the dot.
It's fine.
There you go. A little bit of history lesson. MIA actually might well throw out the hook. Instead, he puts the Skara award, I think it's safe to say, on Skara.
Oh, man. Skara. When you watch this VOD, to look back and see if there's anything you guys could have done differently, or just to relish in your success, depending how this game goes, that ward, man, gotta learn it.
You gotta learn it. It's probably one of the funniest videos I've seen.
He's so disappointed at the end of it too. He's just like, oh, I'm so proud of this game.
No swearing required, just straight up disappointment.
Yeah.
So Skara is going to be going in this bottom lane as we discussed. So he's going to be sticking down there. Doesn't mean he's not going to get that blue buff.
Yeah.
And it is going to be Kiwi Kid going up the top lane. So Cutie and Patoy in the mid lane as suspected. And what are compLexity going to do to try and counter this? It looks like they're going to put the duo lane in the mid lane themselves.
This is going to be interesting overall. Actually, Nick Wu, I believe with the bleed, stole away the red buff at the top. So Loud Mortis is level 2, but doesn't have it. That actually, I don't think it was on purpose because he specifically stopped attacking Nick Wu there.
Chupa's struggling. It's reset once, and he's just struggling out to try and get this one away. MIA now has to come around and tank it out there. Now they've lost vision of it. It's a comedy of areas. And finally, Chupa picks up the blue buff.
There we go. A bit of a blooper by him. He does actually not have many potions left either, to be honest. He's got 1 health potion ticking, 1 left in his inventory. He'll be heads up against Skara. So we have crazy lanes everywhere because a 2-on-2 mid. Nick Wu's already chugged a red elixir, and Kiwi Kid's actually got to be very afraid of a red buff Draven with red elixir.
Well, it is Kiwi Kid. Oh, I'm a cutie guy getting hooked in there. Brunchu didn't really react to it quick enough, though. He was just simply walking back, chilling. MIA's like, come on, I've caught a big fish here. But nobody wanted to go with it.
And the thing is, PewDiePie's going to be fine this lane. He's got a red elixir and another 5 health potions still. If they keep going into heads-up fights, like no matter how bad the trade is for Dignitas, they'll eventually win that lane out. So this is going to be a really good lane, I think, for Dig specifically.
So PewDiePie with those spinning axes. Let's keep our eye and see if he does manage to start building it up. Of course, taking down that siege minion. Has got a minute CS advantage so far, but that's going to stay fairly even, I feel, in this lane. Louder Mortis in the jungle, of course. He did fall behind, or I tell a lie, he's actually ahead in levels right now because Crumb's still at level 1. He must have had issues with his own. I tell a lie, he's just hit level 2, and now he comes in towards going for the golems.
He did grab both buffs, but I believe he shared experience with Skara the whole way through. I know he did for double golems, and we've actually seen this a lot more at top lane. Oh, Kiwi Kid, the flash in from Nick Wu. Will it be enough burn damage?
I think he will, and it's going to be first blood for Nick Wu, working out nicely. So that red buff, despite the fact it may well have been an issue, may well have been a mistake picking it up, it does work out nicely. Patoy has to come in with a headbutt pulverize to save PewDiePie, who was taking a lot of damage from Brunchu and MIA.
And MIA is going to have to chug a bunch of potions to keep himself alive, but PewDiePie still has a whole bunch himself, still 2 in the inventory, and 2 ticking off as well, so he will come back to full life. Brunchu, to be fair, has done an amazing job of not taking too much poke, though. Without any sustain, but Doran's Blade has still burned a lot of PewDiePie's potions. Oh,
and he's going to go aggressive again. You can see PewDiePie. He's the one. Headbutt pulverize on towards MIA. The bleed comes down. One more shot will do it, and it's going to be PewDiePie. And now the exhaust goes down from Patoy. They could turn this on towards Brunchu. Brunchu used to use the barrier to save himself and backs off there. Patoy, beautiful play.
Absolutely great lockup there. Didn't have to use his flash. Did use exhaust to try to save PewDiePie in that fight overall, but of course it did completely work. Very, very nice initiation by Dignitas.
And you can see Louder Mortis is going to come around, but look at don't mess with that bull. He's got some big horns, and now it's going to be Nick Wu. They're going to get dived on. Here comes Crumbs, flips him in. He's got siege minions shooting at him, but you can see Kiwi Kid. He didn't want a piece of that. Manages to go for the harpoon. The flame spinner going down. Can he finish off? One more hit will do it, and it's Crumbs that has to pick up the kill.
That was a great job. The Electro Harpoon actually did land onto Nick Wu. He would have gotten out if it didn't hit him because he could just run away from the Volibear, but not this time. They're going on PewDiePie.
They're going on towards PewDiePie. Can they finish him off? The hook comes out, but Brunchu's going to get taken down. Patoy picks up the kill. The exhaust comes out there, and still he's going to finally go down, but he buys enough time for PewDiePie to get away.
That was actually really, really interesting. So PewDiePie, by the way, did eventually have to flash away from the chasing Louder Mortis. Oh, the trade really strong from Cheaper, actually. So PewDiePie did a pretty good job trying to wait on his summoner cooldowns. Did have to burn it. But the thing is, Patoy got an unassisted kill, so only 300 gold. But compLexity got 450 back for an assisted kill.
So it's advantage going to compLexity in that fight, but it is still very close in gold. Look at Crumbs coming around, playing trouble with Nick Wu. The harpoon again going launched out there. Didn't quite connect this time on Nick Wu. And he is this time going to be able to clear out and force everyone to go back. So 23 CS to 14. Of course, with that slight advantage, he did get the kill early on the turret, which means he's come back with that Negatron cloak. It's not the Negatron cloak, sorry, it's the
Null Magic Mantle.
Null Magic Mantle. That's the one right there.
So a likely early Hex Drinker from him, going to try to use the attack damage to deal a bunch. PewDiePie looking for pressure in mid, not getting a ton out of it. So let's kind of break into what's happened in this game. Of course, we're pretty much equal in gold. These lanes are just really, really interesting, though. Both these guys going double mid lends them a lot of jungle pressure. they can easily move their support and AD carry down for any invades. As we get towards 7 minutes, you'll see someone go for a buff steal, and it'll be really interesting because you'll see like a 4-on-4 for it.
Oh, the aggression coming on towards MIA again. He's pulverized into the air. Cutie-Pie's going in. One more axe will do it. There he goes. Now it's Brunchu. He gets flipped in. He's in trouble. He's got barrier. It's already been used up, and it's going to be Crumbs that picks that one up. Kiwi Kid, meanwhile, in the top there. He's getting pressure by Loudamortis.
Amazing play again, just overall by Patoy. His actual headbutt got blocked by the Flay from MIA. Great reflexes by him, but still, they're just able to lock him up so much. Draven just chains people down.
They're going for it. They're going to come around the side there. The bandage just not even close from Loudamortis, and I don't think he was maybe going for that one. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but Nick Wu is doing a fantastic job in this top lane. 41 CS to 17. Kiwi Kid's having problems here.
He is. You can just see that the all-in he had at the very, very beginning allowed him to buy a Doran's Blade plus that Null Magic Mantle. Kiwi Kid's having a rough time. Nick Wu actually pink warded the lower brush to make sure he was not getting jungle ganked really at all, and of course could always lead in Loudamortis if he needed to, which makes Kiwi Kid play even safer than normal.
Blue buff will be given to Chupa a bit more safely this time. Scarra's waiting off at the side to roll that barrel in towards Brunchu. Does have barrier available in just a moment, but oh, MIA is going to get caught out. The big belly slam comes out from Scarra, and the explosive cask just melts him where he stands.
And that's what you kind of have when your support has been killed, I guess now 3 times. Only level 4 against a solo laner, you just have so much damage available in those situations.
The apprehend coming out from Nick Wu didn't quite land. Oh, look at this. Crumbs and Patoya sat ready and waiting. They're going towards it. Curse of the Sad Mummy comes out, and they're just going to blast him down. He flashes out. Will he be able to escape? Oh, the harpoon landed. That's going to be the death of him, and Kiwi Kid picks up the kill. Absolutely
amazing coordination there by Dignitas. You had both of them waiting to counter gank. Again, having those 2 guys mid means you can easily roam them across. And now that compLexity sent Rise mid, Cutie-Pie's in no danger. He can heads up 1v1 that, but Toy can just roam. He'll be safe. So he was just able to look for the counter gank there and find it. It was a great play.
Great play, and that may well give him the return kill that he needed to try and keep up with Nick Wu, because that lane was in danger of sliding away. Scarra currently with the lead down this bottom lane, 59 CS, but he is behind in CS, but Chupa switched around. Chupa's getting aggressed on here, forced to flash away. Crumbs thought about going in towards the turret, but realized obviously it's going to be quickly countered by a Rune Prison.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's one of the best things about Rise, is once he gets just a couple of levels underneath him, he's able to use Rune Prison less for last hitting and more saving it and making sure he's able to find counter engages or find escapes. But here comes a 3-on-2.
Uh-oh, there's a bear and a cow coming at you. Brunchu, you're in trouble. He gets bounced, he gets slammed, he gets flipped, he gets destroyed. The explosive cast comes in, MIA goes bouncing, and wow, that's a whole lot of meat feast coming in for you there.
That was an amazing gank once again by Dignitas. Scarra, with impeccable precision there, actually saved the explosive cask until it was like, okay, now you're going to be coming back in. Like, we have the free kill on the Brunchu. You don't need you here. I'm going to pull MIA back in and find you. Really, really great move.
Well, Nick Wu clearing out this top lane though. Kiwi Kid still got a big grin on his face, despite the fact he is losing out this lane pretty heavily to Nick Wu, and it is going to be the first turret of the game. Oh no, he's in trouble. The one more tower hit's going to do it, and Kiwi Kid, that's why he's got a grin on his face. Look at the big smile.
That was a very, very impressive move. We're seeing them over and over again, just awesome moves by all these guys. He was actually forced out of lane. I think he was looking for a recall and said, actually, you know what? He's overextending, and he thinks I recalled. He, like, you know, gets the equalizer, the flash combo. Like, really great play.
Really very good play, and everything so far being set up so nicely by Crumbs and Patoy. Honestly, every kill so far has been all about them. 10-2 in kills so far, 10 minutes into this game. It is a fast-paced killing spree from Dignitas. Oh, and Crumbs this time is going to walk straight in, but he doesn't even care. He gets pulled in by MIA, but he continues to just hang around, and they did no damage because it was a support and a jungler. They could do nothing.
But the funny thing is, if Loudamortis had walked into Patoy and Crumbs, he probably would have died. So just the power difference there between these teams right now is actually fairly significant right now. Really only Nick Wu's having a great game. Chupa will eventually skill that game, but they're going to go in on Cutie-Pie.
Going in on Cutie-Pie, flashes out, puts the cleanse down as well, but I think he's going to get caught out. The apprehend from Nick Wu pulls him in, and it's Chupa that picked up the kill. Scarra was off at the side there, could have possibly thrown out the explosive cask, but I think the fact that that many skills were used just to get that single kill on Cutie-Pie, it does mean they're going to try and force the dragon.
They would have had Scar for free if he landed that right there. He's going to go in, though. He's got the ult as well. The burst damage is going to be so amazing.
They're bouncing him around, but Skara does go down, and Crumbs picks up the kill on Chupa. Now Louder Mortis is the target from Patoy and Crumbs. You talked about it earlier, this combination, this meat feast of cow and bear towards Brunch U. They're keeping him at bay.
And Nick Wu is going to find Kiwi Kid. This is actually a pretty decent fight for Nick Wu if he doesn't get interrupted.
And he is going to call a lot of damage down. There's going to be the ulti coming off, and Kiwi Kid now is going to get straight in. The Flame Spit is just burning away on towards Nick Wu. The ultimate comes out, but the dunk's there. Nick Wu gets dropped, though, and it's Crumbs that picks up the kill. Brunch U goes flashing in for Kiwi Kid, and he does manage to get the kill.
So they do get that trade, but you're just seeing how disruptive Dignitas can actually be. One of the name of the top laner that Nick Wu is playing, Darius. So one of Darius' big weaknesses is that he is only melee range and he can't really bring himself to a target. So when Dignitas has so much crowd control with Alistar, with Gragas, look, everyone on that team has some decent crowd control, even the Equalizer there and the Electro Harpoons. It is hard for Nick Wu to do his job. He just needs to be so tanky he can withstand that, and he's not there yet.
Skara now with that Morellonomicon. He has been finally locked in, so he's going to be putting more and more damage down with the cooldowns. Cutie Pie returns to lane. He's going to go back and complete that Bloodthirst. So, well, it looks like Brunch U is actually rushing the Blade of the Rune King, by the looks of it, with the fact that he's got that in there. Let's see whether... So that's how a lot of Nick Wu, despite the fact Nick Wu's had that big advantage, he had to get the Hex Drinker in because he was worried about the damage from Kiwi Kid, and Kiwi Kid's kept up very nicely with him.
But the funny thing is, yeah, that Hex Drinker is really a lane itemization item. He picked it in order to withstand the damage, be able to dive him and survive any sort of counterattack, and just deal a bunch of damage. Well, that laning phase is going to end. You can see him really forced to team fight, and you can see that Dignitas can deal damage back to him very, very easily. Now Brunch U is going Ruin King to try to kite against Volibear. Crumbs is putting a lot of pressure onto him, and Brunch U needs to be able to survive that because he doesn't have... I guess he does have a pretty good defense crew, but even still, he's going to get dived on.
It does look like Dignitas moving in for the Dragon. Our compLexity going to try and fight this one. 13-5 in kills. They are down in gold, but it does mean they are going to keep Dignitas away from this one because Patoy wasn't there. We just saw Skara going across, actually, just using that slam to get across and go towards that tri-bush. Brunch U is going to keep him at bay. Meanwhile, in this mid lane, compLexity going to try and rotate round. Could they try and pressure in the mid lane, or are they going to have to deal with Cutie Pie and Skara in this bottom?
Well, right now, Dignitas are more powerful. Their champion lineup really spikes hard in the mid game. Gragas, Rumble, especially Draven, they all just do amazingly around this time in the game as their base damages are starting to get maxed out on their basic abilities. They don't scale as hyper carries like Ryze, but they have a lot of damage right now, and that's why you saw them go for the Dragon. They're going to actually come back for that right now.
Chupa going aggressive here. He's going to get the Rune Prison down on Crumbs, but look at that. He's just like, meh, don't care.
Yeah, they're pretty safe overall, and you're just seeing Dignitas try to make things happen because, right, default 5-on-5, they know they're stronger.
They do know they're stronger. compLexity are going to try and maybe force this one. Patoy this time is in position. There's the ultimate being thrown out from Cutie Pie to reveal everybody. The barrel just lingering off the side there. They still haven't finished off the Dragon here. Patoy is ready. They are all clumped together. There's going to be the explosive cast. There's the pulverized catches 3 of them. Bounces them in the air. It could well be a bit of a mixed grill here for Dignitas. It is going to be a dunk coming down. Patoy is also continuing to keep them up. He's going to have another kill down. Nick Wu getting the double. Can they turn this one around? Or is compLexity going to get fried? It looks like it's going to be Nick Wu. He's trying to get in. The dunk comes in. The triple kill. But it's Nick Wu that's going to get away. No! Skara tries to get him down. He's going to try and dodge out. Can he just dodge? One more barrel goes into the bush. Tries to calm down onto Skara, but the belly of Skara just melts down Nick Wu.
What a great pickup at the very end there. But of course, compLexity did win that fight 3-2. And well, they've got a good mid-game spike of their own, of course. Darius had a field day in that battle, now has a Giant's Belt. He's finally picked that up, so that's actually very, very important for him. And what you saw there was Volibear went in there, and against most teams he would survive, but he got dunked on, and then you saw him just sort of pick up kill after kill after kill. Nick Wu was able to clean that fight up so successfully. Dignitas' engage, honestly, it was a little rough there, and that's kind of how he got those openings.
He's a big, scary bear right now. He's got the Runic Bulwark completed. He's 6-1-2 right now, Crumbs. Absolutely playing fantastic and creating every opportunity that is arising for Dignitas along with Patoy, and there is the gruesome twosome in that mid lane of a dancing cat. I mean, when you see a bear on his hind legs and a cow, then you know you're in trouble.
There's a lot of beef there. There really is. It's going to be hard for compLexity to
Uh-oh, MIA, you can't go 1v1 within this time. This bear is going to get flippity-floppity on you. He comes in towards MIA. He doesn't flip him, actually. Realizes he doesn't want to chase into a hidden bush.
No, he doesn't really want to go for that one. It gives MIA the chance to counterattack him, put exhaust down, because that Q also doubles as really his only escape tool. It gives him a little bit of movement speed on the way out as well, so comp's saving that, being a little bit more safe. So what's interesting basically here is that compLexity, I think, has the late game edge because they've got Rise, and he's actually having a really good game so far. Trooper, by 17 minutes, already has tier and a completed Rod of Ages, and that's actually a really massive thing.
They're going to push the mid lane here. compLexity, I think they're going to get it because everybody is away from this one. It's only Skara that's trying to keep them at bay, while the rest of Dignitas, they're pushing the top lane. You can see QtPie, he's off in his own. It is going to be the top lane for Dignitas, but they're not keeping the pressure down. Only Skara is the man keeping 4 members of compLexity at bay there.
Well, he's got such good wave clear. He's Gragas with a decent amount of ability power. He's going for a death cap, I mean, it could be Zhonya's. I assume death cap, but he's got the needlessly large rod on top of the Morella Namicon. He basically one-shots caster minions. You can't easily push against a Gragas who's prepared for you if you're not going to dive him. And compLexity, it's hard for them to dive. They can, but Ladomortis has to land the Q, or Brunchu has to land the ultimate. It'll be difficult for them to do that.
So Brunchu trying to farm out, trying to keep up. He is actually just slightly ahead of QtPie in terms of farm, but you can see 1-4-5 does not equate to a 2-1-2 for QtPie, and he's got that Bloodthirster already complete. Looking at the gold, you can see it's just a 400 gold lead for QtPie. Not the greatest so far when you look at the rest of the team. When you look at the kill scores, 15 and 8 in terms of kills and 4,000 gold advantage, but it's not really that. But look at the mid lane, it's 1,000 gold for Skara, and more importantly, the jungler. It's 1,600 gold advantage for Crumbs.
Yes, and that is actually, of course, massive because he's been getting all the kills for his team. And the kill lead, giving them 7 kills, giving them 2 turrets. The Dragon did go and get picked up by Crumbs in that last fight. Yeah, that's where the 5,000 gold lead comes from. And Dignitas, again, this mid-game still exists. They're still stronger on the map. As long as their team fight goes properly for them, they're able to steal away blue, push turrets, and compLexity kind of has to wait.
Oh, the hook being thrown out, but really wasn't the champion he wanted to go towards. That bear is pretty scary right now. Blue buff is going to be taken by Crumbs, and actually, or was it Scar? I didn't know. Both got it on him either way. They are going to push in towards and take this turret down. compLexity going to try and fend it off. They may switch around, and it's going to be Ladomortis. He's been caught about. He gets flipped. He gets headbutted. He gets pulverized, and now he's going to get belly dashed and explosive cast. But he survived all of that damage, and Ladomortis, with the help of the lantern, walks away.
And that was an amazing... Oh my gosh, they're going in again.
Apprehend, actually. I think it was NickWoo that pulled them in. Instead, he wants to get the dunk, but he's not going to be able to get it. He does manage to get Crumbs down, though, but just before it ends there. And compLexity, they're in a 1-for-1 right now, but it's their top laner for the jungle.
Well, it's, of course, a very farmed jungle, so hey, killing Volibear, honestly, it was worth shutdown gold the first time. Less so this time around. But what I want to point about that fight, though, was what compLexity's teamfight is going to look like. Because they've got Curse the Sad Mummy into Varus ult, meaning that no one can leave before Varus ult spreads. So they've basically got a 3.5-second AoE route, and that is just going to be a playground for Trooper and NickWoo. Trooper, again, he's had a great early game. He picked up the kill there onto Crumb, so he's actually scaling amazingly. Again, is on Rise, who is a late game beast of a champion. And NickWoo, he's now tanky enough that he can easily set up those kills, bring people down. If he wants to execute, he can. He doesn't even have to, though. He can just sit there, put damage onto everybody, and let them all bleed to death.
Bleeding to death is potentially what Darius wants them to do. Get those dunks going, which he's already done once. He got the triple kill from it. But QtPie is going to be looking to stop him. Every time I see KiwiKid in that corner, he's got a grin on his face. This guy doesn't stop smiling.
Well, he's playing video games, and video games are fun.
And he's getting paid to play video games at that.
Also awesome, and he's winning.
And he is winning as well, and he's doing very well in the league. 8 seconds before the dragon spawns. They are going to continue that mix of meat for Dignitas. Can they try and force this one out, though? Patoy with the Oracle. Look at Crumbs trying to get in there, but the lash comes out. They do manage to get the Runic Prison on him, and they keep him at bay. That's how you tame a bear, with a big lash of Thresh.
Indeed, it seems to be working pretty okay. Now, they're just going to play this dance for a while, honestly. The initiation, it'll end up coming from... so it might come from an explosive cast from Gragas, or it'll come from Patoy just going for... He actually goes for a flash pulverize and then headbutts his target into the team. PewDiePie, though, this is so amazing from Dignitas. They have control, and they're letting PewDiePie solo this without any ward coverage, and compLexity is none the wiser.
Because he's got that Bloodthirster Zeal already at level 12, he's doing it without any issues at all. And now this is the moment they caught wind of it, you saw Dignitas just move around. Full defensive formation, great clearance there, very well played by PewDiePie and the rest of Dignitas, forming the defensive linebacker, I believe it is, if I'm to use an American term.
Yeah, pretty much. And what's great here as well is, right, Dignitas kind of gave it up. compLexity's finally got their way across the map and was like, oh, they did take that. Oh, that was cute. So they have a rough timer. They'll know roughly when that comes back on up. compLexity, I don't think they can push mid. This is their thing is they don't have to. Once again, they've got Rise and they've got a great team fight composition. They can wait for the game to play out over just a longer period of time, and that's all right for them. But Dignitas, right, they're sort of outplaying compLexity. They're finding blue buffs to steal. They're finding dragons to take away, turrets to kill. So if compLexity doesn't make any moves, you kind of feel like Dignitas will keep progressing past them. But at the same time, if we just kind of wait for 40 minutes or so, compLexity's in really good shape.
Well, you do see the equalizer coming out from KiwiKid to keep them away from that mid turret. At the moment, they thought they could get a sniff. A swing at it. The axe was not allowed and the lantern came in there. And this is, you know, if you know Scarra's history, you know that he used to be a chess player. And this is effectively what we're doing right now. It's real-time chess, real-time strategy to keep your pieces maneuvering around the board. And Scarra seems to be doing a fantastic job of that, leading his team.
Yeah, and one thing to point out when you get into these weird games where like there's split pushes everywhere and you've got strange farm in different spots is to look at minion kills. Because whoever's winning in minion kills tends to be the one who's finding the openings much better than the other team, and you're seeing a slight minion kill lead. Now, remember that Nick Wu was heavily up on KiwiKid in the top lane, just in the heads up, and that Chuper was actually heavily ahead of Scarra as well. And now you're actually seeing an overall lead for Dignitas. So this like weird run around the map, do crazy things, is going in Dignitas' favor. They're actually snowballing ahead by doing this sort of thing, and that's, you know, again, great play by them.
Oh, the explosive cast thrown out, but flashed out by MIA. Saw that coming a mile away with his good eye.
Wow. All right, so back to the game. Now, so I've been kind of looking at the builds as they progress, what's been going on. So, Brunshu actually didn't go all the way towards Ruin King. He just wants the on-demand slow from the Bilgewater Cutlass to slow down that Volibear, or if he can actually land and engage, slow someone down to actually go for pressure. But generally speaking, it's self-peel. But the Runic Bulwark is a little bit interesting from Crumbs because there's only one ability power champion on compLexity, and again, they just get a blue steal. Like, they've got control of the map.
MIA getting disrupted there. KiwiKid getting caught. The Runic Prison going down. The rest of compLexity not following through on that, though. Chupa trying to keep the pressure on. Did burn his ultimate, but it's back up very quickly. And look at this. PewDiePie, again, no cares given. Just walks straight around there and just goes back into the lane. Despite the fact they knew that 4 people were there. They have got a ward on that blue buff, so they saw them pass back to the side. But they could easily just be going around the back.
What was interesting about that last fight as well, though, was that if it weren't for Crumbs smiting away blue... Oh my gosh, PewDiePie was Chupa.
PewDiePie going aggressive here, and he's actually going to chase through. Chupa is going to back off from that one, but now we see Thresh coming out, throws out the ultimate, not going to land though, and this time it is going to be PewDiePie being chased by MIA, when that means the support. You can see the jungler actually coming down. PewDiePie tries to turn it back around on towards MIA. He's going to get some lifesteal, going to get some bleed on there, and Laudamortis is actually a long way away. The hook comes out from MIA, keeps him bare, gets the lash down. Now MIA is in trouble, puts the exhaust down. The rest of the team are collapsing on towards PewDiePie, and Chupa comes back from the base, delayed him just long enough for Laudamortis to come in and get the kill with the bandage toss.
That was a good pickup there overall. MIA really just felt like PewDiePie was about to get out of that engagement, even though he was being surrounded, but he burned a lot of his own cooldowns to make sure that PewDiePie wasn't going anywhere. So it worked out. Great play. Again, Lantern and a teammate. A lot of good moves. But so that prior fight, though, if the blue buff weren't smited away by Crumbs, Laudamortis would have actually been able to bandage toss to it and start a fight in really good position, because you had KiwiKid caught up on the wrong side of that fight. You would have seen compLexity follow up on that easily.
Baron being started off here by Dignitas, and you know what? I'm not sure if compLexity are aware of this one. They are going to see MIA coming around. Oh, he's only put the ward down there. Maybe just going to catch a glimpse. It's going to be a barrel. Oh, look at the damage coming straight out. MIA is going to get melted. Laudamortis can't even follow this through. The Varus ultimate from Brunshu misses. It does force them away from the Baron, but it's another kill picked up for Dignitas.
And just look at how farmed Scarra is as well. He's got Marillanomicon into Death Cap, and then a Void Staff as well. And of course, MIA's exhaust was down because of that prior engagement where he picked up the kill on PewDiePie. I'm just very impressed by Scar's ability to say, okay, I can make this one a kill. I'll go for this right here. I'll flash over the wall, but it's 300 gold. It's a good job.
I kill you.
Thank you.
Zero kill hero, I believe it's the phrase, and it seems to be working very well for Scar at the moment. MIA came around that corner. Chupa's trying to keep himself farmed up, trying to keep up the CS with Scar, but it is a hard job for him to do. 290 to 238, and as you mentioned, very scary Gragas right now. He's got some big barrels on him. 415, the Rabadon's death cap, Void Staff as on there, as well as the Morellonomicon he had very early on. Meanwhile, well, Chupa is going to build up that damage slowly but surely. He's going to become a scary beast on Rise, and it is going to be the middle turret finally going down. It's been a hard-fought battle, that one, for compLexity. They do finally get it down, though.
Yes, they've actually almost equalized the turret kills right here. You notice that QtPie, by the way, Chupa's not even able to try to stop him there. So as far as 1v1s go, no one is really able to deal with QtPie's Draven. He's rushed the Bloodthirster. Interestingly, he went for a Phantom Dancer here. I normally see him go Static Shiv because he'll run in and just land one basic attack and just proc a whole bunch of damage at once, and it's like chunk down the enemy AD carry. In this case, it's actually not that way. He's actually building it a little bit more of a sustained damage dealer.
Well, you know, considering this was, what, 15-2, I think, at one point, compLexity have actually kept themselves in this for quite a long time. That gold lead's still only 5,000. It is about to get stretched here because Dignitas will pick up that dragon. That's going to take it to a 6,000 lead. 17-10 in kills, 4-2 in turrets, but compLexity are not out of it yet. They've proved so far in the team fights they can kind of get in the right place at the right time, but it's so heavily dependent, like you mentioned earlier on, about getting the right target.
Yes, this is going to be a game really all about sort of team fight progression and what happens from that, because they're close enough in gold, and the team compositions are so different, really, that in the way that they fight, that you can't just say, oh, whoever has more gold is going to win the battle, because it's so explosive. Right, you've got a lot of area of effect crowd control. Both teams can pick up a straggler immediately and execute them right away. You've got Gragas Burst and QtPie for the chase down. You've got Nick Wu with the execute. Chuper and Loudamortis and Brunch, you all have amazing catch. MIA has amazing catch as well. Like, this game is just going to be decided on, did someone give away a kill for free and get caught and give away Baron? Like, there's a lot of variables here. You pretty much want to consider both teams equal and just say, look, if someone gets a great team fight, it's all over.
Kiwi Kid, as you mentioned, he did fall behind Nick Wu for a long time, and it looks like Nick Wu has kind of recaptured some of that farm advantage that he had early on, and he kind of needs to be, because he's now the main man, effectively. Chupa, of course, is going to put some damage down, but it's going to be Nick Wu that's going to be in there fighting. He's got that Sunfire Cape, but still lacking a lot in the damage.
Yeah, he is. I mean, his goal is just to be a tank, though, because they've got a late-game Rise to do everything for him. So all he really wants to do is just put up the apprehend in the middle of the fight once everyone's locked down, or to pick someone up, put a bunch of bleed stacks, and then, hey, if someone's going to get away, just drop the dunk at the very end there. But his goal is to be a frontline tank alongside a Mumu and Thresh.
I'm trying to see if he got the steal. He didn't. Chupa has it on him, so Chupa managed to get on that one. The explosive cast was thrown out from Skara, though, but the reset on that one is pretty quick. It's not going to be too long before the cooldown comes back.
But Kiwi could use his ultimate as well. compLexity can fight this.
Oh, Loudamortis, the flash. He does manage to use Curse the Sad Mommy, but all he caught was minions.
Oh my gosh, he might have got Skara mid-body slam, but certainly not enough to make him die. They looked for the engage because they knew two ults were down. They couldn't find it, though.
Well, QtPie is on the inhibitor turret while this is all happening. Now they know that the Curse of the Sad Mommy is down. They're going to go full tilt, full aggression, pushing towards compLexity. Chupa's going to come across, but he knows, as you mentioned, he can't fight QtPie, and QtPie is just going to burn down this inhibitor turret. He's ran out of minions, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the team now coming around, and we've seen this before with QtPie. He's quite happy to tank it up. He takes it down, throws out the spinning axe, and walks away.
That was an amazing split push there. That looks like just textbook Dignitas over and over and over again. They find those split pushes. They find the ways.
Oh, wow, on mid as well.
To get the turrets, man. It's a great fight by them.
Yeah, and Dignitas, they may well go for this one. Oh, we see him going full on aggression. There's the explosive cast coming from downtown there, slam dunking them away. And it is going to be Dignitas continuing the pressure on towards compLexity. They're going back Baron-wise again.
And this is one of the great things about Gragas, especially with Blue Buff and Morellonomicon, is that the cooldown on his ultimate is so low. It's only 48 seconds. You can use it every second minion wave, basically, and you can use it as a poke tool. Back in the Season 2 North American Regionals, Reginald kind of commented against his first round opponent saying that their AP mid didn't really know how to play Gragas properly, because he saved the cooldown so much. He said, like, it's actually a really good poke tool. It does a lot of damage with a low cooldown. You use it to wear your opponents down. Just toss it out there and see what sticks. And that's what Scar is doing here, is just finding openings, tossing it out there, and saying, you guys got to back off now.
You're going to have to force him away. Morris, of course, because the sad moment he's not available. But the bandage toss does land on Crumbs, but there is nobody there to back him up. And he's that tanky. He's got that runic bulwark. He's got the locket as well. And he's got another giant spell just to add a little bit of insult to injury. He is very much stacked with health.
Yeah, that is going to be a very hard guy to kill. And it's smart by him as well to go for health specifically, just because, you know, he's fighting true damage there from Nick Wu, who will probably look to execute him if he possibly can. And he's fighting a mix of damage types as well. You've got a lot of magic damage coming from Chuper and a lot of physical coming from Brunch Yu. Like, yes, Varus does some % health damage, but realistically, you just want to be a health tank more than anything else on Volibear.
Chuper was possibly thirsty there, the way he ran in towards that barrel. Thought, I need a drink now. Oh, no, that's the wrong type. PewDiePie back down this bottom lane. He's going to keep pushing up there. Skara keeps a glimpse on Nick Wu. He's going to get a good court on him there. Does manage to pull the apprehend. The explosive cast comes around. There's going to be the curse to Sad Mommy, the dunk from Nick Wu. And it's going to be Kiwi Kid going down as well. But this time it was Chuper that picked up the kill. That was a 2 for 0. A good exchange. PewDiePie backs off, and he's just going to hide himself in that bush. And they're going to try and take an advantage from this one. The problem is compLexity can't go aggressive.
Oh,
and now MIA is caught out. Lashes them out. Crumbs chases it down, but backs away. PewDiePie is still going for this one. He goes in towards Nick Wu. Nick Wu in trouble. Apprehends, pulls him in, but it's going to be the death of him. And now PewDiePie gets caught down. Gordon just flashes away. Crumbs comes in to save the day. He's going to see the last come out. MIA gets in there. He gets flipped, puts the boxes down, and it's going to be Crumbs that's going to take him down, but it's taking so long to kill him off here. Brunch Yu, meanwhile, is still chasing. Still the bear is not down. Finally, that big, angry, hairy mother has gone down.
But Dignitas also bought enough time that even though it was a 5-on-3 on the map, they completely prevented a Baron attempt. This team does not have enough poke to stop a Baron 3v5, but just amazing positioning. Like, yeah, they traded a 1-for-1 or so, but that's actually pretty good. They traded 1-for-1 and stopped Baron. Like, that was an amazing move right there. Nick Wu got caught out, and yet even still, PewDiePie got away from that one. So that was actually really nice cleanup there by Dignitas. But that's what I was saying earlier, right? These teams have such good catch that you can just find someone going down out of nowhere.
And you just saw how quick Gragas, while doing a lot of damage, gets absolutely smashed by Nick Wu if he gets caught out in the wrong place at the wrong time, because he's got no health stacked on him. He is pure damage right now.
And normally you're okay to do that on Gragas. You have Explosive Cask and Body Slam as defensive disengage tools, and you tend to burst someone down anyway. They don't even have the chance to counterattack you, but Nick Wu is tanky. Nick Wu has Apprehend, Nick Wu has a slow, and Nick Wu has a flash as well. And so Skara, none of those tools are going to work there.
None of those tools are going to work, but PewDiePie continues to get farmed. He continues to do a lot of damage, but Brunch Yu, he's sneaking at it. He's got that Infinity Edge along with the Blade of the Rune King. Now he's got another pickaxe in there. Last Whisper will be coming out, and that is actually going to start causing problems for the likes of Crumbs, who has built himself so tanky. He's going to get burnt down quickly, but Dignitas we see engaging on Baron.
Yeah, and so, you know, I kind of take it back, where, you know, the health stack, it might burn him back down. You can see a good counter engage. Now they've got a ward over the wall. It's running down very, very quickly. They've got to go for this right now.
Oh, good explosive cask. Is he going to cause him away? Brunch Yu goes for the snipe. It's not going to happen. Crumbs manages to get the smite in there, and he does manage to keep them at bay. PewDiePie wasn't even involved in that, and that's how strong Dignitas are right now. Now they're going to push up. It's going to be a 5-man Baroned up team going straight mid.
With a 7,000 gold lead, of course, some of that in their pockets, but still, they are the stronger team on the map. compLexity, they do have everything but the box available. That's up in 4 seconds, so by all rights, compLexity has all their ultimates. Remember that Dignitas don't really want to fight a 5v5. Kiwi Kid and Skara both burned their ultimates to stop the Baron re-engage, so they will poke. They've got good long range, but they won't all in here.
They won't all in. Skara is going to keep pressuring on towards him. Remember, this is an exposed inhibitor on this bottom lane, and Patoy with that Oracle clears out the wards. Skara again shoves those minions on while he buys time for PewDiePie to keep pressuring the mid lane. Every time you see Skara somewhere, expect PewDiePie to be coming up another lane and keeping pressure on towards your tower.
And you're just seeing the poke really available here from Dignitas.
He's on the inhib right now, while Dignitas, look at this, he's keeping 2 people busy over the side.
And this mid lane, of course, still under pressure as well. The poke, even Rumble has poke, especially with the Leander. He's doing good damage. We'll see if they can look for an engage anywhere. They're not able to just yet. Latimortis just kind of swinging around the side. You've got an Alistar waiting across the wall. The same for the Rumble. Skara is just omnipresent here, and they have the ward coverage that Skara will know if someone goes for an engage. He can always body slam away.
He is going to get hooked in, but I don't think they can follow that one through. The spear does come through. The spear? It's a big spear coming out of a bow.
They found Nick Wu, though, they engage.
They found Nick Wu, and they're going to go in towards him. He does manage to pull the apprehend, and immediately the lands and saves the day, but it does mean the main damage dealer is forced away from the turret, and that does give them Dignitas another opening to take a turret down.
That was really, really good from them, and you can see that they're just sort of liberally using their ultimates just for momentary openings. Even if it doesn't result in a kill, they find turrets off of that. And again, turrets are worth more than kills. If you ult for a turret, that's worth it.
Turrets win games, as do Nexus, and that is what they're pushing towards. Now it's 6-2 in turrets. Dignitas with the clear advantage. Skara quite happy, realizes that nobody wants to really get close to him, juke him. Loudamortis though coming out with those home guard boots. Could he turn towards Kiwi Kid here? He hasn't really got the team backing him up because he went so aggressive. There's going to be the apprehend coming out from Nick Wu. He's going to go aggressive. Can he catch on towards Patoy or Crumbs? No, forced away, and Skara continues to be omnipresent in the bottom lane.
And you can just see, though, apprehend, having the Alistar there is actually rather useful because he's like, great, I'm in pulverize range now, and free disengage. So that's been really useful here for Dignitas. I want to see if they can grab a Blade of the Ruin King just to follow up a little bit better. They do land the slow. Like, they can force a hardcore engage.
Here comes the Skara's just around the side, though, and there is the explosive cast, knocking them all away. MIA gets taken down. Curse of the Sad Mommy catches everyone down, though. Can they turn it in their favor? Chupa does manage to pick up a double kill before he goes down. Skara's taken very low. We've got the bleed on. Oh, the apprehend didn't quite land, and now Brunchu gets dropped by Crumbs. It's a triple kill for Crumbs. He's on for the penta. Here comes the rest of the team. Patoy comes around. It's Skara that picks up another, and now Loudamortis, he's running his little legs off to try and get away from this one. It's going to be the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor taken for Dignitas. They can just rotate round to bottom and pick themselves up a second.
Oh, what an interesting fight that was. Both teams kind of lost their main damage dealers fairly early on, and you saw really Nick Wu not able to follow up any kills. He actually didn't use his ult at all in that fight for any executes at all. He couldn't quite land it onto Skara. He was not in range really to hit Crumbs. Of course, the funny thing about that, the Volibear ultimate, to get the numbers down exactly, is when he drops below 30% health, he heals for 30% more. But 30% of Volibear is like 1,000, and that is not in execute range for Nick Wu.
That is a lot of damage, just going to heal straight back. So Loudamortis did what he could to keep them at bay, but nevertheless, Dignitas pick up 2 inhibitors of complexity's base, and that stretches the gold lead to 9,000 right now. Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen, over 9,000. 7-2 for Dignitas, 22-15 kills, and wow. This is a pretty lively game, I've got to be honest, between these two. The fact that we've already got 37 kills, 39 minutes in, it's impressive.
That makes it not very lively.
It does make it lively.
If they're dead, how are they lively?
Oh, God. There you go, Freak.
All right, so, complexity, what they need right now is for Trooper to stop dying in fights because he is their biggest damage source. Now, he did get the Seraph's Embrace. That mana shield is helping him survive. But again, he was one of the first 2 to die from complexity in that fight. And that can't happen. He is the team's huge damage source here. Now, he's going for a Frozen Heart. He's got a Runic Bulwark on his team. That's all good.
Nick Wu, you are dead, man. He's going to try and run away from this, and the rest of the team do come around the side there. There's Loudamortis. He gets pulverized. Brunchu's onto him. Does manage to force Patoy to use his ultimate. Now they can turn it towards Crumbs, but here comes the damage. Curse of the Sad Mommy. Oh, explosive cast just melts Skara. Brunchu's trying out of this one, and Dignitas are going to clean house. Nick Wu's in there. He's trying to dunk. He gets a double kill. Can he finish off? Can he get another dunk? There's no damage more coming out for him because Brunchu goes down, and now MIA. He's only got the lash, but he's got the bear. He tries to tame it, but it's not going to happen because the cow comes in. You mess with the bull, you get the horns, and it's going to be a double kill for me. I'm a cutie pie. Can he turn it into a triple? He goes on towards Chupa. One more axe will do it. There it is. The triple. Chupa got the kill back, and now Loudamortis. He's got a big angry bear and a cow chasing him down. There's no meal for you tonight. You're going to go.
That was just really strange as well. MIA had his ultimate available that entire time and waited till the last second to use it. I guess he was baiting for Trooper to clean that fight up, but the disruption from Dignitas kept him from chaining down Cutie Pie and then kind of returning back to the rest of the team. So when we go back to the start of that one, we pointed out that Crumbs is getting all the kills early on. Started out 6-1, but of course now there's just minions in their base, and no one's alive yet from complexity to stop this.
Well, as it is, Patoy is going to teleport back, Maybe the super minions could finish the game, I don't know, but Crumbs is certainly going to have a good go at taking down this turret. You can see Brunchu has respawned in there, but he's got a hell of a lot of super minions knocking down his back door, and MIA needs to do it. Brunchu might die to the minions here. The shield has to get thrown out. He's trying to keep them at bay. Nick Wu will get in there. He's going to try and keep them off. He should save the turret for just a moment. The Nexus turret there, Nexus itself, I should say, not the Nexus turret. The turret's got already beaten down, and wow. Just wow, Dignitas showing their true power in this game and looking like they're going to take yet another win. That would take them 3-0 along with TSM this weekend.
Yeah, and of course, it's because of really amazing plays by these guys. You're seeing a lot of items, but really, really great play overall. I gotta say, Crumbs has been doing an amazing job. He found so many ganks early on, snowballing Dignitas ahead. And the story of that game was Dignitas, I think, really having an amazing mid-game. They've capitalized on it. They've got map control with the inhibitors dead. And this, I don't think they can stop this Baron.
I don't think they can stop it. Clears out the waves. They have one inhibitor up. They have no turrets alive. And Chupa, just seen the face on him there. He realizes, I think it is time to concede this game, ladies and gentlemen. 42 minutes in, it's going to be Dignitas rolling home for victory.
Almost certainly here. 5v4, Baron buff, no turrets. Almost 3 dead inhibitors and 40 seconds to allow to Mortis. They'll go for one last stand, but Dig can run right through them here.
And here we go. The bear goes in. He flips on Nick Wu, and it's going to be diving in there, MIA. Chupa gets bounced. Nick Wu gets bounced. There they go. Crumbs picks up another. Brunchu flashes away. He's like, no, you're going to keep my stats. You're keeping my KDA away. And it is going to be Dignitas with another win, going 3-0 for the weekend. Fantastic performance once again by them.